guys, welcome to beautiful New Bern, North Carolina. Today I just want to give you a shop tour, show you a little bit about some of the projects we got going on here, talk to you a little bit about the cars, maybe a little bit of the stories on them, and just show you what we got going. Back here in behind my house is my shop, Poor Boy's Garage. Come on in. I know a lot of people see the this bad boy when I'm doing a lot of my videos behind the scenes. This right here is a 1952 Mercury Monterey, and my son and I were cruising actually down the interstate here coming home, and this thing was actually sitting on a trailer with a little for sale sign on it, and talked a little bit about it. And when I seen it, I fell in love with it right away because I love 50s cars. And this was set up to be kind of like a gasser style of a car. The history on it is, it's a funny story. It came here in 1952 from Georgia, here in Havelock, which is about, I don't know, 30-minute drive, just a town over. Husband and wife had it. They were driving it pretty consecutively, and then for some reason the husband parked it on the side of his shop. From there it sat for years, and I don't know how many, but a long time. And there was an auction. The husband did finally pass away, and I think the wife might have passed away too, but maybe right before that she moved out of the house. And they had a estate auction. So this was for sale, and the gentleman that I bought it from, that's how we got it, from that estate auction. It's so funny because now that house where this car came from is a good friend of mine that lives there. So we kind of put the puzzle pieces together and when I bought it, and I'm like, wait, isn't that from the house over in Havelock? And the guy John said, yeah, that was the Havelock house. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird because my buddy lives there now. And there's a bunch of shops, and we found car parts up in the rafters. So the gentleman was doing some old, I think he just was doing a lot of Cadillacs. But anyway, back to the car. 52 Mercury, like I said, it's got a 9-inch locker rear end in it, posi. It's got the big fat Hoosier tires. The guy, John, that I bought it from, he had a 351 Windsor in this car. It was a 351 stroker, and it was pretty stout motor. He would just rip it up and down, because up and down the street, I was asking him, I'm like, hey, what drag strip you been taking this car to? And he's like, I haven't. I just been driving it up and down the road. And I'm like, well, that's pretty sweet. But we got it home. We ripped out all the interior in it. I had all the interior done by a gentleman over here named Bill. He did all the seats. He did the door panels, and then just gave me all the stuff, and I installed everything. This front seat was, there was no front seat in this car. There was actually old drag buckets. And I was trying everything I could to make this look as original as I could possibly do for a 52. And I ended up finding a Comet, like a 73 Comet bench seat, and it fit in here pretty good. So I had that all reupholstered, did all the carpet, did the dash, rewired a bunch of it, put a stereo in it, and all she needs now is a nice V8, and we'll be ready to go. But I was thinking 347 stroker. I was thinking I don't really want to go back into the FE motors, although they're cool, but I was thinking more or less something small that's producing a lot of horsepower, and that'll just burn these tires all the way up the street. So haven't got that far yet. That's why this car is just sitting here as is, and I just kind of think about what I'm going to do, and my son and I kind of go to the drawing board every once in a while and figure it out. But it's definitely going to be a 4-speed car, no doubt about that. And but it's a pretty stout ride. Everybody who comes over likes to check it out. Things I forgot to talk about on the 52 was even though we had all the interior done and we installed it ourselves, I did do the headliner for it. It's one of the old bow style headliners, and I took a video of that, of like a how to install video, which was, it worked out pretty good. So I'll put that up as soon as I can for you guys. If you, any questions about how to do or a first time install for your 50s headliner. If you guys follow us, you know basically about the 26. I've done, I don't know, we've done about 3 or 4 videos on it. Right now, the only thing it's waiting on is a wheel cylinder. One of my wheel cylinders went bad on the passenger side, so I had to order that. And other than that, that's about it. There's a couple little things here and there. I still want to get it up on the lift and just check it out. There's a lot of wires just kind of hanging, and I want to get those all tidied up. There's a gas filter in the back that's probably full of all kinds of stuff from the tank. I want to get that changed out, and just little things here and there. Otherwise, this car is not bad. I mean, it runs and drives. As you know, we take it up the street. You've seen us take it up the street every once in a while, so won't talk too much about that one since you guys know about that one anyway. But we're gonna walk over here to the chill spot. So I just want to add a little bit to the chill area. I grew up in California in high school, in a little town called Belmont. It was right outside in the Bay Area, more or less, in and out of SF. But I watch a lot of the Born Free guys and the Born Free videos because I find it so fascinating that these guys have these little garages. You know, California, there's not much property there at all. So they're working out of these small little shops and garages. And they always have like these cool little areas to chill out, like if they bring their boys and stuff. And you know, I'll plug, you know, the Born Free. I think they're awesome. We over here still do bikes every once in a while. I've had 3 or 4 Harley choppers. I still have a passion for motorcycles. I always will. They just come and go for me. Like I'll have one and then it'll get sold, or then I'll buy one. But I really enjoy the old iron heads, the old kickstart. If you scroll in some of the Poor Boys Garage videos, we did a 1968 iron head chopper that we actually got out of an old church in a shed in the back. And it was part of the motorcycle ministry that they had, and they stopped riding. I have a good story on it. It's a quick video, but it's a great little chopper. Like I said, we still enjoy motorcycles just as much as we enjoy the hot rods and all that stuff. So that's how I got the chill spot. I can't take all the credit. I try to bring a lot of my West Coast stuff over to the East Coast because I just enjoy it so much, and I love their culture over there. East Coast has got a great car culture too, don't get me wrong, but it's just something about the West Coast and the way they have the choppers and the little rat cars and all that stuff. I just really enjoy that. So just want to throw that out there about how I developed this little area. I want to say maybe, I don't know, 2 years ago now, maybe even 3. We put the addition on for the, I always told myself, because I've been working on cars for a long time, just the old classics, and I always told myself when I'm got a place of my own, I'm going to put a lift in there. I was always jealous of guys with a lift, and I finally did it. We put a lift in here. Best thing ever, guys. They're not even that expensive. It's the best investment you could possibly make for your back and your body. And it's a whole nother ball game when you're working on these cars and you got a lift. You guys know, believe me. So as you know, 71 Charger B, Jaden's car. We almost got all the interior back in it. What I'm gonna do today is get it out of here. I got a customer car. He brought his 72 Charger over here to get it running and driving and do some brake work and stuff. And I need to get his car up on the lift because I know he's wanting his car back. So get this one out, put it over on the big side, do the carpet, put seats back in, and honestly finally wash this thing. I know everybody's asking me when we're gonna wash it. We definitely will. And continue on with getting the little odds and ends done with this one. This one should be about done, ready to drive at least. So come on, we'll go check out the 72 Charger my buddy brought over. Man, guys, one of the things, we walked right by, we did the shop tour, and we're just doing a couple little ads here and there. One of the things I forgot to even talk about was my Marine Corps wall. And I've served 20 years in the Marine Corps. That's how I actually got over to the East Coast from the West Coast when I was real young. But stationed here at Camp Lejeune, stationed up in Washington, D.C., Iraq veteran, 2 tours, as well as I got about 6 deployments. So people always ask me, they're like, dang, how do you get to do cars all day? And I'm like, well, I'm retired. You know, this is what I do for fun, and this is what I love doing. This is like the passion. I've always wanted to do it, even in the Marine Corps, and now I can do it 24/7 or whatever, however long my body lets me keep wrenching on these things. But you know, over here, we are so proud and blessed to have served our country, and I'm serving our country, and we love the men and women of the armed services. So just want to throw that out there. If you see me wearing Marine Corps hats, now you know I am a Marine Corps vet. So Semperfi. The 72. My buddy Larry called me up. I don't know. It was about a week ago. And he caught me in a great mood. You know, he's like, hey, Brad, I just bought a 72, hasn't ran in years, got a 440 in it. Do you mind getting it running and driving, see if it's a numbers matching and all that stuff? And I'm like, no problem, bring it over. So sure enough, it wasn't even 10 minutes later, he had it on trailer, dropping it off over here. Had a couple of my buddies show up, and we got it running. It was kind of a beast to get run for some reason. She just didn't pop right off. She wanted to play hardball, so we ended up bypassing the Mopar electronic ignition, the famous one that goes bad all the time. I put my MSD box in here, and it took a few cranks, but she finally fired up. It's a 440 car, which makes it way better than a 318, but it's a good car. It's a U code 72. And still got the fender tag on it. So, but like I said, this is just a customer car that we worked on, that we are working on. But it's just always cool to see got another Charger in the freaking yard. All right, let's move on to the next one. We just put up the GTX video. The 69, that was bad to the bone. 4-speed, what was it, 440 behind that Rodney's garage. I looked at that car for, I don't know, I found that car, I don't know, 6-7 months before I was actually able to look at it. And Rodney, if you've seen that video, Rodney's an old Mopar guy, and he was schooling me on that car. I mean, he was telling it's a track pack car, got the Dana in it, 4-speed. But anyway, he was on the phone with me when I was back there looking at it, because he don't live there. That was at his friend's house. And after he chewed my butt for knocking on the door and asking to even look at those cars, he found out that, hey, I'm just a Mopar guy too. And he's like, hey, no problem. Go back there and check them out, as you see in that video. We were able to rescue, and we still got it, and that was like a year ago. We were able to rescue the 66 Sadie. So this car here was a local car, and it was original 361, but they had a 440 in it back in the days. And I did end up getting that 440 block, as if you've seen the video. The 440 block ended up going to my buddy. He's gonna put it in his 70 Roadrunner, and this 66 ended up getting sold to my buddy AJ, and he's gonna restore it or do whatever with it. But this was an original 361 AC car. Rodney had it for years, like 20-something years. And it was just rotting away, as you've seen in the vid. But we were able to grab it. Now that GTX, I know everybody's asking why I didn't grab that one. That was an awesome car. It's bad to the bone, but the price was a little bit too high for me. So I couldn't pan out that kind of money at the time. So that's why that car is still sitting there to this day. So just a quick overview, the 66 Sadie, automatic console shift bucket seat car. So cool ride. I was really excited when we were able to rescue it. It definitely got potential because you just don't, they're hard to find with bucket seats, especially console shift 361. Mostly they're always 318s and they're always on the column, it seems like. So this one's a real cool find. And what's even cooler about it is still got the what is it? The Strata card. So all original. And the fender tag. It's always great finding the Mopar when it's still got the fender tag on it. Those things are few and far between nowadays. I don't know why everybody wants to take the fender tags, but they seem to always be the ones that are missing. So anyway, we'll go over. I got a couple cool cars here. These more or less parts cars. They're pretty roasted, but you know, we rescued them. So this right here is another Charger, 3rd gen, 1972. But what's special about this one, besides it does have a lot of rust in it, that's special. But this is a 340 car, and it is a true rally. So you don't find, I mean, you can find these 3rd gens pretty often. I mean, they're not that hard to find, in my opinion. Somebody might be looking at this going, man, I don't ever find them. But anyway, you don't ever find the rally cars. So it's got the 340 in it. Just automatic column shift. Here, I'll open the door. But what was funny about this car, this one sat, if you remember my RT video, my 69 Charger RT that we pulled out of the carport, this car was the one sitting right next to it. And the gentleman that I got it from, he had the seats covered in plastic. So the seat is pristine. The car's roasted, but the seat's pristine. And that's pretty cool. But the pans are gone in it. I mean, I've been using it, like just pulling little parts here and there that I need for the 71 Charger. And that's about what I've been doing with it. But it's still a cool car because you got the louvers right here, which you don't see that often. And I'll show you the 340. Magnum hood. Still sitting in there, rotting away, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I need to pull it out and put it in something else, but I just haven't really had anything to put it in. But what's kind of funny is it's got a brand new purple shaft cam. If you look down the distributor hole, you can see the purple shaft in there. Probably hasn't even been fired. Whoever put it in here obviously put it in and parked the car. So I don't know if the old man bought it like this or if he had his guys put it in. I don't know. But this car sat probably for 30, 40 years in that carport. So that's our parts car rally car. And I'll show you this one. This is a special car, but unfortunately, this one's seen better days as well. But this is a 1965 Cornet. 383 4-speed car. Now, not original 383 4-speed. I highly doubt. I was told it was slammed in here back 30, 40 years ago as well. And that was about the best of it. They're driving it around. But like everything else, it got eaten up. So I mean, all the fenders are all eaten up in it. The trim molding starting to pop around the windows. It's just one of them things here in North Carolina. It's so humid all the time. If you leave these cars just parked under trees, like the way we find them all the time, 9 times out of 10, them pine needles, man, they just eat. They hold that moisture in and they just get in every crevice that you don't want them to and start rusting these cars out. But let's check it out right here. Floor pans are gone, but Real deal, 4-speed, man. I honestly sit in here and I try to remember what it's like ripping this bad boy up and down the street, man. Because I'm sure it would be fun. But I'll show you what's real special about this car and why we ended up rescuing it. Show you where the magic happens right here. And there she is. 383 big block 2 4 barrels, which makes it pretty nostalgic in my opinion. It doesn't matter about the car. I mean, obviously it is a 65 Cornet, which awesome car. Still got a lot of good trim on it, but that motor and trans is that's what makes this bad boy in my opinion. Is it freed up? I don't know. I haven't put a wrench on it yet, or a bar to see if the motor turns, but we're hoping for the best. But that is it in a nutshell, guys. That's all the hot rods we have right now around here. I think next week after I get this my buddy's car done, we're gonna go out and hit a couple holes, some honey holes that I know of, and we'll film a few videos for you guys to check out, because we love going picking and going around these old junkyards. Here in North Carolina, there still is a few. These guys got you're not necessarily gonna find all the big Mopar there, but you will find a lot of cool old cars. So I'm going over my paper on a lot of the questions I'm getting asked. One of these days we'll just take all the questions and do, like, I'll sit down here and answer them all. But just for a broad view, the 69 RT, that was like one of our heavy hitting videos. Out of all the videos we've been doing this, I've been doing the car thing with, you know, I did a lot of pictures at first, and then I started doing a little bit of videos here and there. As you can tell, some of our videos are old. But the 69 RT was a car that I've known about since I was probably about 21 years old. That car's been sitting in that carport, and we ended up finally getting it. The old man who had it ended up passing away, so they called me and asked me if I wanted to, you know, come look at it. So I ended up making a deal on it. And I knew when I pulled that car, I knew it was a holy grail car. I knew it. But it needed a rotisserie restoration, and as much as I would love to have a Charger sitting here, I knew once I seen it and I grabbed it that I was just gonna sit in my shop and we were just gonna stare at it for weeks, and I knew that's as far as I was gonna go with it. So I ended up having another car buddy of mine. Ended up gave me an offer on it, and he ended up grabbing it, and I think he's going to do a rotisserie. He ended up saying he's going to sell his Roadrunner just for that car, and I was totally all about that. When I see these cars go to great homes and get what they deserve to be, you know, not sit here and rust away anymore. Somebody's actually going to take the time and throw the money at it and get it running and driving. I ended up letting it go. So that was one of our best pulls probably to this day. That was probably one of the, like I said, it was a holy grail car. And I think we're up to, if you see some of the videos, I think we're up to about, what, 19 Chargers now? And that's all of them too. That's not like just 68 through 70, all the special ones everybody wants now. That's like, I think we had some 66, 67s, you know, up to the 3rd gen Chargers. So I think we're up to about 19 different Chargers. And a lot of them cars, guys, there are a lot of more parts cars, man. I'm yanking them out of the woods and getting them to good homes. Some people will restore those cars. I mean, they need everything, frame rails to pans to all that stuff. And I don't mind doing that kind of stuff here and there, but some of that stuff's just way out of my realm. And you know, the money, you know, that's what it all comes down to, the money on this kind of stuff. So 19 Chargers. I got a couple on my back of my mind that I know of around here, but We'll see how many more we can come across. The infamous, I call them the infamous elusive 68 through 70 Charger. So that's the story on that 69 RT. So one of the videos that we just put out was the 67 Cornet 500 video. We did that car probably, I don't know, what was it, about a year ago maybe? And it was a 67 Cornet. I know everybody's thinking we got out of junkyard, which almost looked like it, but that was actually a car buddy of mine. That's about 2 hours away. That was his yard. He had, I don't know, about 10 cars in there. And I went up there to look at, if I remember right, we have a 66 Cornet. It's a purple car that we went to go up there and look at. And then he told me he had this car, but when I seen it, as you guys see in the video, I had to have it. I mean, it was set up so perfectly. It looked, the rims on it with the super tricks, and the way it was just sitting with all them pine needles on it, I was like, man, I had to rescue that car. So that 67 500, as you know, in the 3 videos we put up, we ended up getting that thing running and driving. The valve springs in it were definitely worn because they would still pop out of the carburetor every once in a while. Other than that, though, we'd rip it up and down the street. It was that 318 for a little 318 and that purple shaft cam and whatever they had done to it back in the day. It was a stout little motor. It was snappy, but it definitely needed to be, you know, get some love tossed at it. Sitting for that many years and then valve springs stay compressed. You know, I remember I was trying to loosen up valve springs on that car for at least, you know, a couple days, thinking, yeah, I'm going to get this thing going. And I just kept at it, and they finally loosened up. But that was one of the things that was a little disappointing about it. But like I said, when they're sitting this long, you know, that's what happens. So that's the story on that 500. It ended up going to my buddy Brian. He came over here and he fell in love with it too. And after we got the mag rims on it and the you know, the aluminum slots, I'm trying to say, the aluminum slots were on it, and we got it running and driving, and it sounded good. He just had to have it. So that's the story on the 67 500, and that's what happened with it. So the last car that my son and I are doing together is the 71 Charger B, and we have an awesome video for that one coming. We did all the interior for it, got it all back together. It's actually sitting outside right now. I got a little bit of a intake manifold leak on it, so it wants to run, but it wants to run idle up and then idle down, so it's sucking air somewhere, so I'd order some gaskets for it. But we'll post that video here soon, just to show you the interior. And then we finally pressure washed that thing. I know everybody was talking about, why are we not washing it? And it's not that I don't like washing the cars, it's just, we just didn't have a second to wash it. We just ended up trying to get it running and driving and get it looking decent. It's going to be, you know, it's Jaden's car, so, you know, he's been busting his butt to get it to where he could actually start driving it. We still got to do like some exhaust on it. It's running straight headers. I think I got about 3 foot of pipe coming off the exhaust manifold right now, so the neighbors love it, love me over here. But that'll be the next video, like I said, and I'll show you guys as far as we got on that 71. So once again, thanks guys. Thanks for taking the tour with me. And if you guys enjoy, you know, what we do over here at Poor Boy's Garage, rescuing classic cars, basically pulling them out of the woods, getting them running and driving, selling a few here and there, keeping a few here, hit the subscribe button, and we'll continue doing what we have a passion for, and that's you know, saving these old cars, getting them back to people, or getting them running and driving. So, also want to say thank you for all the comments and the support. You guys have been awesome. We've been doing the videos for a while, but ever since my son kind of took over my YouTube, it's kind of now starting to grow, and people are starting to really take interest in what we do over here. So, once again, thank you, and thank you guys.